Hey, Legacy Fathers, what is up? Welcome to the Legacy Father podcast, where we discuss tips, stories, and strategies for being the best father that you can be. I'm Brandon, and today we're diving into an important topic, which is guiding your son through adolescence. These are the ages of 4 to 9. And today I wanted to cover 3 ways you can support your son, and more specifically, 3 things I wish my dad did when I was a little boy. Adolescence is a time of rapid change for your son. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, he's learning about himself. He's learning about morals. We also have various institutions like the National Institute of Health, Center for Parent and Teen Communication. Several universities like the University of Illinois says that adolescence is a critical time for young boys. So today we're going to talk about some of the ways that we can foster open communication and bond with our sons, and also be a positive role model. First, I want to talk about how I wished my dad had made our home a safe place. So what does a safe place offer us? It offers us open communication, right? Your son's not going to come to you and tell you about the dirty magazine he saw in 3rd grade class that his friend brought if your home isn't a safe place. So what we want to do is create that safe place. So how do we do that exactly? The first one is we initiate conversation. What kind of conversations? We encourage him to share his experiences, concerns, and aspirations. So this is like really easy. Hey, how was your day at school? What did you learn? What did you eat for lunch? Just start asking questions. Just get curious. Oh, wow, you learned about outer space? I really like Jupiter. What's your favorite planet? It's having a conversation with your son. If you're not having conversations with your son, ask yourself why. Are you too busy? Is it awkward for you? This is a core thing that you need to start doing. The second thing is listen actively. So when he's actually talking to you, put the phone down, put it away, set aside some time. If you're not already, I actually will take my phone and put it in our seat cushions and in the couch in order to get away from the phone. This helps me stay engaged with my daughter. Again, I don't have a son. These are just things I wish my dad did. And some of these can be applied to our daughters as well, but I get rid of the phone. I make sure that I'm actively listening so that she knows I'm engaged. The last thing you need to do to create a safe place is make sure that your emotions are in check. So if you have anger problems, high anxiety, or high depression, and it's affecting your relationships and it's affecting how you're showing up in your home, it's time to take a look at those things. You can do that through individual therapy or group therapy, or you can join the Legacy Father online community, where we have specialized calls for these things every single week. The second thing I wish my dad did more of growing up was initiating activities. Just spending quality time. Let's go outside and play catch. It was almost impossible to peel him off of his lounging chair after work. He would come home, he was a butcher, he worked for Albertsons, and I don't know if he was just dog tired or he was dealing with his own demons, but it was like once he sat down and he started watching Law and Order or Friends after work, he was never coming back. Like he was never going to come outside and play with us. So what do I wish my dad did? I wish that he initiated activities. I wish he said, hey son, let's grab our mitts. Let's go outside and play. I wish that he would plan regular outings. So hiking, fishing, biking events, things like that. I mean, this is just stuff like once a week I would have loved to go on. It wasn't until I was 14 years old and I joined the Boy Scouts that I was able to do these things. My dad did eventually join along with that, but in my very young years, my dad didn't do any of these things. I wish we had like hobbies to do together, like building a model car or playing music. I played saxophone when I was young and guitar and piano. My dad did none of those things. Models, I had a Popular Mechanics like plastic V8 engine, loved building that thing. My dad never touched it with me. So I would have loved if he would have came down into my room and engaged in those things with me. This isn't rocket science, guys. I just wanted my dad to play more with me. One other note is that I wish my dad had more traditions. So prayer before dinner or a weekly movie night or some sort of annual camping trips. I wish we had more of those when I was younger. Finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about that I wish my dad did more of is being a positive role model. I don't want to give you guys too much of my family's dirty laundry, but I sat in on way too many arguments with my father. There was a lot of yelling in that house. There was a lot of arguments between my mother and father that me and my siblings had to observe through my adolescence. And so I wish my dad would have showed more respect and kindness to my mother. I wish he would have treated my mom better so that I could have had a role model for how to treat a woman when I got older. I wish my dad would have kicked his bad habits. My dad chewed for years. He quit about like a year or two ago. He's like 56 years old. So my dad has been chewing since he was like 18 years old. Imagine that, almost 35 years of chewing. I wish that he would have kicked that habit and drinking a lot sooner. I wish he would have exercised more. I wish I had that kind of role model. It took me forever to get rid of my bad habits like alcoholism too. And I wish I had a man in my life who had exhibited that kind of self-control. One other thing my dad could have done to be a positive role model is pursue personal growth. So this is like setting and achieving goals, pursuing a hobby, building something, learning a new skill. My dad did the same job for literally 30 years. He worked at Albertsons as a meat cutter, and it was really hard for me to understand what achieving goals looked like when I didn't have that in my own life. So to wrap it up, guys, guiding your son through adolescence requires a lot from you. It requires patience, understanding, and intentionality. You got to create that safe space, as we talked about. One of the other things I wish my dad did was initiate more activities, and I wish he was a positive role model. I really think this can help you and your son navigate this critical phase of life successfully. I also think your support and guidance will empower him to become confident someday. He'll become responsible. He'll become well-rounded, and he'll be able to have a future full of resilience and optimism. So dads, if you struggle with any kind of anxiety, depression, alcoholism, anger, or in general just parenting, I suggest you check out our online community at legacyfather.org/join, where other dads are tackling unintentional fathering to live out our legacies. What about you? What are 3 things that you wish your dad did when you were a little boy? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for joining me on the Legacy Father podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with other dads and subscribe for more insights and tips for fatherhood. Until next time, ignite your legacy.